Okay, it's good to have you back. It is still Good Morning Anambra Tuesday episode, and we are still enjoying the Hamilton here. I wonder what it's like in your side. My name is Steli Jama, and I still have Dave in the house.
You're ready.
Okay, now let's take you on the first segment of our discussion this morning, which is dry season, fire outbreak, and the safety measures. And to help us look at this morning, we'll have Engineer Martin Abele. Engineer Martin, as the Chief Fire Officer, Anambra State. Engineer, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I hope we are going to get it down today again.
Yeah, as long as you're here. Okay, so fire safety is a set of procedures intended to reduce the destruction caused by fire. Then, fire safety measures include those that are intended to prevent ignition of an uncontrolled fire and those that are used to limit the development and effect of fire after it starts. That's exactly what we're going to look at this morning. Okay? Now that you are here, sir, could you please help us buttress this point? What is fire? Which one is fire outbreak? Because I know there's fire in my gas or in stove or anywhere, but which one is fire outbreak?
First of all, thank you so much for bringing us on air this morning. I always say thank you to ABS because this is one of the organizations that bring a limelight into fire service. And the people of Anambra State have been hearing the voice of Anambra State Fire Service through ABS. From your question, fire is a scientific thing. If we start to do the definition now, it will take us a long way, and the program will finish before we finish the definition. But all the same, in a layman's language, it's just that which we use in our different homes, different places. But then, it's always a good friend of man, and at the same time, the worst friend when it gets out of hand. And that is why when you said something, you talked about uncontrolled fire. That is when we have uncontrolled fire. That is the same time we now see it becoming a great enemy or the worst enemy ever. But that is the same fire we enjoy at every point in time. We use in cooking, we use in doing every sort of things at home, in offices, churches, markets.
So, so far, what are the basic causes of fire outbreak with your experience in Anambra?
A lot. I must tell you sincerely, let me take, for instance, this dry season. This is a festive period which we are into. A lot of things are going to happen, a lot of mistakes, and there will be fire outbreak. Sometimes people will ask me, is there no way we can stop this fire outbreak? I tell them, yes, it is possible, but at the same time, it's not possible. Why it is possible is when we adhere to fire safety management rules, then there will be no fire outbreak. But as long as there will be mistakes from people here and there will always be fire outbreak, and we'll always be out there to fight the fire, which is our paramount duty. But then, the most important thing which will always cause the fire outbreak at this season is just, I would say, mistake, and the enjoyment, the entertainment. Because at this period, you see people, they enjoy what they are eating, what they are cooking, what they're frying. At the same time, it will cause fire outbreak. I always tell them, now people are traveling, by weekend, people will start traveling to their different, probably communities. Then you know what is going to happen. A lot of them, they are going to forget to switch off the electrical appliances before traveling. And that is when we'll have this, which we call power surge. When they bring the power holding, when they bring EEDC, when they take the light and bring it back, it may come all of a sudden, and the next thing we see, then there will be blast, there may be spark, and there will be fire break at the same time. That is why within this period, you hear a lot of places that people are not there, families are not there, but there is fire break. You start to ask yourself, what is really the cause of these things? The electrical appliances which they could not switch off before traveling.
Okay,
yes.
That take us to the next question that we want to ask you now, because we understand there are different types of fire. Yeah. So apart from the one that I've mentioned, the fire in the gas cooker, and what are other types of fire that
As far as fire service is concerned and fire safety management is concerned, we have types of or classes of fire. We have class A, we have class B, we have class C, we have class D, and the class K. Sometimes people say we have class E, but we don't have class E. I will still touch the issue of class E. Why? People mention, yeah.
Which class is this one? Class B.
Now, when you look at this, it's under free burning material, which is class A. Because class A, as I was talking about, are free burning materials. We talk about grasses, we talk about clothes, we talk about peppers, we talk about wood.
That you deliberately put
those things which can catch fire immediately.
Okay.
As long as they receive the heat. Because we have 3 components that make up fire. And those 3 components are just the fuel, the heat, and the oxygen, which is the air around us. That is when we talk about triangle of combustion or fire triangle in fire service. With these 3 things, because triangle is made up of 3 sides. So with these 3 things, immediately they are there completely, then there will be fire. Remember, the oxygen is always there, waiting for the heat and again the fuel. The fuel is not the one we use in that one is petrol. Fuel can be clothes, it can be any other thing. So what you saw on the screen there was free burning material. That is bushfire. It's under class A. Then class A. Yeah. When you talk about class B are flammable liquids. Flammable liquids are the petrol, the kerosene, the diesel, even the candle wax. They are under this class of fire. Then the class C are liquefied gases. Liquefied gases, when you mention the cooking gas we use at home, the 10-butane, all of them are classified under this. Then class D are metallic products. Metallic products, you talk about the magnesium, you talk about the aluminum, you talk about the silver, you talk about all of them, they're under this class of fire. They can always attract fire. When the heat is so much, then they transfer to another combustible material, then there will be fire break. Then another one is K. Class A is fatty oil, the cooking oil, which we use. They're under this class of fire. Why people say we have class E, but there's no class E, is because of electrical fire. Then they say because it starts with E, people say it's electric class E. We don't have class E. It's electrical fire.
So where does it fall under the normal classification?
Yeah, that is what I'm going to tell you now. When you talk about the class E, which is electrical fire, it doesn't belong to any of these classes of fire which I've already mentioned. What is happening there is this. If there will be fire break, because if fire service will go to any building to fight fire, the next thing is this. The first thing they do is to look out for the control switch, to switch it off. Now, if the fire starts in a high tension, or it starts in a compound or in a house, in a residential home, then the next thing is this. When we come, we'll switch off. If it is in those electrical appliances, immediately you switch off, then it will now turn it to any of these classes which I've already mentioned. So if it's a television, immediately you switch off. The television now becomes what? They are plastic. Then it goes to what? The class A, which are what? Free burning materials.
Free burning materials.
Then if it is, say, something like a foam compound machine, all those things, then you see that, or a container which contains, let me just, filling station, a petrol filling station, that's the canister which they are using. Then you see that when there's fire there, remember what you have there is equally the electrical part is inside there. Then you have that class B, which are flammable liquids. Then immediately you switch off. Then you are no longer talking about the electrical side of it. You are now talking about the product which is within, which is class B.
Right. Yes, okay. Is anybody with us?
No.
Okay, let's go.
In May, you were speaking at the 2018 Firefighters Day. Firefighters Day, where you said there were 68 fires between December 2017 and April 2018. Yeah. We are again in that season of fire outbreak. What are you doing now to ensure that you reduce these statistics?
Sincerely, I must tell you one thing. I believe strongly it's not going to be like that this year. The reason behind it is this. We've done a lot of sensitization since that January, since that March, May. to this time. We've gone even down to the grassroots, even to the communities. There may not be much. People are now becoming aware of what is happening, what it takes to fight fire, what it takes to have fire prevention. It may not be, the statistics may not get to the same point within now and in May, which we are going to have another International Firefighters Day. That is my belief, and I strongly believe that, because Anambra State Fire Service has worked tirelessly in the state to prevent that.
Okay,
because of that sensitization.
Yes, talking of prevention, what are the different ways that you have put in place to prevent fire outbreak now, specifically in Anambra State?
Yeah, just like I was saying, we have this sensitization. It's just all about sensitization of the public, and we've tried as much as we can to do that. Now we have what we are doing here today is part of the sensitization. Then again, we've gone to schools, we've gone to churches, we've gone to markets within this period of 2018. So a lot of them now, what we do now when we get to that place is not just talking, we demonstrate. We demonstrate to them, this is because it takes courage to fight fire. So if you cannot withstand it, then if there's fire, you run away. If you can withstand it, then you can stand to use your fire extinguisher to fight the fire at the earliest stage of the fire. But if not, the best approach is fire prevention, which we always talk to them when we are doing sensitization.
Provision of fire equipment and other things.
That is part of the sensitization. Okay. When we get to churches, when we go to markets, when we go to schools, all we have to do is to make sure we'll do what we call fire risk assessment. It's done under fire safety inspection. When we get to that place, we'll do the fire risk and send back the signal or the report to the company or to the school.
Okay. So let me hold you there. We're coming back to that. Right. We're coming back to that. Let's take a short break. We're coming back very shortly, please.
Does this ever happen to you? Making your family their favorite meal and you get carried away? Well, let's hope what's about to happen next wouldn't be your situation. Stop! Whenever oil is on fire, first thing you need to do is remain calm and follow this main step. If fire is still contained in a pot or pan, turn off the heat on the burner. Look for a large lid. Slide over the pot and cover the flame. The flame should be smothered and put out. If you have baking soda readily available, toss as much as possible into the pot. If you have a kitchen ABC extinguisher, arm and aim at the flame source. Immediately turn off the heat source afterwards. Never pour water onto a burning oil fire. It will erupt in a ball of flames and steam, hurting you and spreading the fire. Remember, your family's safety depends on your actions. Be proactive about your family's safety.
Okay, it's good to have you back. And now that we're here, sure you saw that demonstration, and Agility is going to talk more on that as we look at dry season, fire outbreak, and safety measures today. Yes, we are talking about prevention before we now saw that. Yeah. So could you please tell us exactly what happened there?
You see, the lady that was cooking, or probably frying in the kitchen, she left what she's cooking or frying unattended and went back to the sitting room to answer call. Nobody says you should not answer call, but you have to do that. If you're going to answer the call and keep the phone. If you don't answer the call, then nothing will happen. But then, the major issue there is this. If something like that happens, what do? The frying pan.
I wanted to say that that she played safe by taking the phone out of the kitchen to the sitting room to answer it, because we have heard that you cannot answer calls
In the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Now, what we are saying, a lot of things are involved. Safety measures in the kitchen. There are many. You or the lady, it doesn't mean that you must go back to the sitting room to answer the call. You can move away from the kitchen a little to answer the call because you have something you are doing in the kitchen already. So, not necessarily going into the sitting room to sit there to answer call. Probably from there you start watching television. And you'll be carried away.
We'll say that her safety measures were not complete.
It's not even up to 10%. So,
Okay.
aside that,
yes.
now the fire is already there when she came back. The next thing is, what do you do? We have, just like I said, triangle of combustion, fire triangle, 3 sides. The same way we have triangle of extinction. When we talk about smoldering, we talk about cooling. You understand? Now, the aspect you saw there, you try to cut off oxygen.
By doing what?
No. Because you may not have the time to switch off the gas immediately. It may be ordinary stove. Remember, it's not everybody that is using cooking gas.
Yes.
It may be ordinary stove. What you do is just to cover that pot or the frying pan.
It could be firewood too.
It can be firewood. So what you do, you cover. There's what we call fire blanket. Everybody must not get it. But if you can, it's better. It's just like blanket we use while sleeping to avoid cold. Now what you do, that fire blanket, you use it immediately and cover the pot. It will stop. What happened then that it tried to cut off oxygen. Remember the 3 components of fire.
The ordinary blanket we use in the houses will catch fire if you put it in fire.
That is what we are saying. We call this a fire blanket.
So if I have the ordinary blanket in the house, what do I do to convert it to fire blanket?
If you can do that practically, locally, what you do, that blanket, it has to be wet.
Okay.
The water will not be there. When you soak it in water, then what do you have to? Erase it, then use it to cover it. So that the wetness will not make it to catch fire immediately. But the best thing is using fire blanket. Once you cover, it cuts off oxygen. I was talking about the 3 components of fire. The oxygen is already there, that is the air around us. Then the fire is already there, which is the heat. Then that thing you are frying is the fuel. So both of them, all of them are there, 3. Then when you cover that pot, at least 10 minutes before you open it. If not, if it is not up to that time, once you open it, you see a blast. So you cover it and remove oxygen, then the fire will stop. Then again is this, because it's doing this in the kitchen, using cooking gas, there's every tendency that you're supposed to do what? Have the fire extinguisher.
Can we have this person join us? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, as we are drawing close to this particular segment, let's begin to hear what measures we have put in place to make sure that we don't have fire outbreak in the state. You have talked about sensitization. I asked you, the equipment is there. Do you have water? Because that's another problem. They will come and they will tell you there's no water.
No.
To fetch water,
No, I will not accept that.
The fire would have
I will not accept that from anybody again in Anambra that we don't have water.
You will not accept that from your boys?
I will not accept it from anybody saying that fire service doesn't have water. Why going to fight fire anywhere? No. It's not done. It's made, even if it happened many years ago, not in this dispensation. I must tell you one thing. Anambra State Fire Service is ever ready at this period to fight any fire in Anambra State.
Beautiful. Good to hear.
I'm coming. His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, Chief Dr. Willie Obiano, has done everything to make sure that every of our equipment is in order. Then the only thing that will make fire service not to attend to any fire is if we are not called in time.
What about the numbers to call? Because
the numbers to call is always there. We have a lot of numbers which I cannot mention here, but after probably the evidence will help us to display it. We've been saying that during social media, radio stations, and every other place.
Was there the one you can give us handy now? Maybe 2.
Of course, now we can, but then the number, if the director's number, director's office number, we can mention that 090
Okay.
77 044 410.
Once more, please.
090 77 044 410. That is director's office number.
Thank you.
But if we can go on and on and on,
Okay,
especially on Onitsha. Onitsha is very important.
Onitsha is a very flashpoint
Yes,
for fire outbreak.
we have Onitsha Wobuko 090 777 44515.
Again?
090 777 44515. That is Obuko. Main market in particular, because of people residing within the market and even the market as well, we have 090 777 44547.
Okay.
090 777 44547. At least these ones are major.
I want to ask.
Okay, the number is already on
Is
the
it
screen.
on
For
your
those of you that
screen?
are watching, you take it from there because I know that Onitsha is no gray area when it comes to this period.
Yes, finally, I want to ask. You talked about the readiness of the fire service. You talked about also risk assessment of these companies. How have you been able to make sure that those things you told them to put in place, they've been able to put them? Let me take, for example, fire extinguishers. Have you monitored some of these offices to see that those standards you gave when you did your risk assessment have been put in place by this company before
that
now?
is the essence of fire safety inspection.
Okay.
So we've been doing that, and also even His Excellency made it mandatory for a letter to be forwarded to all the companies, and also through AGDA, Oka Capital Territory Development. So that have been done, and we will go on fire safety inspection to make sure that those things are there.
In 1 second,
Yeah.
advise our people, in 1 second we are leaving.
Yeah, fire kills, I must say, but you can prevent it. You try as much as you can to avoid anything that can cause fire within this period. But remember, call fire service in time if you really want them to come and fight the fire.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Engineer Martin Abwele, Chief Fire Officer, Anambra State, and this very informative session because this period is very critical to us. Thank you very much. And for those of you that are at home, you have taken caution. We are still here with another segment coming up very shortly. Dave?
And you know it's very, very important on this issue. Before you call fire service, try to make sure you've prevented the fire. I think that's the most important.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Do stand by now.